Hello everybody, we're here at RemoteCon with yet another very interesting product demo on remote work tools. Here with us now we have Happeo, an intranet enterprise social network and collaboration platform that lets your communication flow seamlessly. Happeo is an all-in-one tool mostly used for enterprise market. It's covering social intranets, knowledge-based digital workplace, internal communication and people directory, all working perfectly with Google Suite. It turns basically Google Suite into the unified hub for teamwork. It facilitates managing remote teams and collaboration for enterprise and fast-growing organizations. It was founded in 2017 by Antero Hanirova, Pertu Oinasu, and Vesa Sironen. The team initially had an insight that in large organizations it's really hard to build a digital culture. Therefore, they went on the pursuit to create the ultimate intranet for companies. In 2019, Gartner named Happeo a cool vendor, and in the same year, the Next Web recognized Happeo as one of Europe's fastest growing scale-ups. To this moment, Happeo continued its growth with close to 280% year-on-year, having a talent pool spread across locations, generations, and time zones. For our demo here today, we have Meredith Silver, Global Sales Manager at Happeo. Hello, Meredith. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Just to jump in, I think it might be a good introduction just to resonate what you said, a little bit about our company and why we do what we do. So we're Happeo. I'm based in Chicago, but the rest of my company is all over the world. We have international offices. And like you mentioned, we have a relationship with Google. We were named a cool vendor by Gartner. And hopefully for all the cool things that we're doing. So a little bit about us. So the reason that we came about is this is what we saw as the status quo for intranet and for information or knowledge sharing within an organization. And when we look at enterprises and mid-market organizations, usually this is what they have. It fails to engage employees. Employees can't find what they're looking for, and really everything is static and top down. So what really we saw as the challenge is that employee engagement wasn't there. There was a decentralization of work, and we see that even more as we look at today's climate. With COVID and remote working, there's so much need to work from home. And so what we've done is we've redefined this idea of an intranet, right? And so when we combine that static piece of an intranet with social capabilities, with collaboration, with engagement, we bring all this information together, we really power it by community. So we're really community focused to make sure that knowledge and information flow is seamless, and it's not only top down, but it's bottom up as well. We want the employees to actually be a part of that. Some things that really make us stand out are our consumer grade UX, our deep integrations that we have with many different players in the industry, and a really quick time to value. That's really unique because typical intranets take a long time to get up and running. They require a lot of different resources and time and things like that. And for us, it's super quick to get up and running. So just to give you a little bit more information, what I will do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and pop open a demo environment to share with you what it looks like.
Go through the practical cases.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So hopefully you can see my screen here. So this is Happeo. This is one of our demo environments. And I think, what's really unique about what we do is we have deep integrations with Google. And those integrations allow you to cater communications or information to unique different groups of users. So if someone is in the New York office, or somebody sits in London or Dubai, anywhere that they are in the world, you can communicate specifically to them. Some other things that are really unique is that we cover different areas of different levels of communication. So like I mentioned, you may have static information that's going to be used as traditional intranet, content management system, wiki, knowledge base. What I always say is it doesn't matter what jargon you toss on it, it's all the same thing. You want to organize information so that it's easily accessible, easy to understand and digest from the end user's perspective. And these robust pages will allow you to easily toss these together, get them up and running, and share information with your employees about who you are and what's important to them. Then the next main section here is going to be channels. New York office, for example, if I want to communicate with just a specific office, maybe I'm working on a project with 10 people. This is going to be a space where I can communicate and collaborate together. So if I just want to communicate this information out to the New York office, and I may want to say, as a reminder, please, face masks are going to be required at the office until further notice. Make sure no one forgets about that. I can go ahead and post that out. And what you'll see actually with our integration that we have with Slack is I'm going to receive a notification just up here in my window. I can go ahead and access that information in Slack, and I can open it back up and continue the conversation in Happeo. What that is going to allow me to do is get the notification in the way in the forum that I want to receive it. So it sort of caters to that employee and making sure that information is not just top down, and making sure that people aren't ignoring those messages, which is typically what we see. The other third section above here at the top is people. This is going to be a full people directory, so we can search by different attribute. Maybe you're looking for somebody who speaks a specific language. Maybe you want somebody who speaks French. I want to find those team members really easily. Let's go back to that marketing option, and let's say I'm looking for the head of marketing. I can go ahead and select that user here. Easily see Nicole's schedule. It looks like she's free for the rest of the day, but Thursday morning I want to book some time to schedule with her. I can do all of this in Google Calendar right from inside of Happeo and schedule that event and book it right on our calendar. I can also gather all of the information from the HRIS system or the provisioning tool that your organization is using to gather all of these insights. This is also one of my favorite sections to use on our mobile app because it's super handy. I'm bad at saving people's contact numbers, so to easily pop that open and just call them directly from my phone is the easiest way. Maybe I want to send her a message, video call with her or send her an email. I can do that all from in here. Another really important and I think undervalued tool in tools like this is going to be search. And the reason for that is I find that usually users like myself don't want to look through the content to find what they're looking for. We want to be efficient. I want to get back to the job at hand, which is my role and my responsibilities. So being able to have a really powerful enterprise search that's going to look beyond my intranet is really, really helpful. So here we're looking across everything in Happeo. So pages, channel, people, individual posts within Happeo. But also let's look across everything in G Suite. So files, maybe somebody sent me a PDF in an email or a calendar invite. Maybe I have information on old Google Site instances. I can see all of that information here, drill down by the file type that I would like to see, and easily find what I'm looking for, even if that keyword is not in the title. So you'll notice that project is not here in this title, but it's in the metadata. And that's how powerful our search is. You're going to find exactly what you need, even if you don't have the exact title wrong, because sometimes that naming functionality is not exactly what you need it to be. And then, of course, we also have really, really robust notifications. We've got a lot of functionality there to make sure that those are catered to the end user and giving them a little bit of control, but ultimately, the admin's most control. And then, of course, we have bookmarks here. So if I want to, bookmark any files that I recently or regularly access, posts I want to come back to, things like that, we can find all that information here. And then, of course, any of those applications that I use on a regular basis, this is really handy because we're logged into the Happeo instance using single sign-on. It's really helpful to just jump in here, click on one of these tools that we use, and automatically log in.
It seems you're very well integrated with all the Google Suite tools and all that.
Yeah.
You also mentioned a mobile app, so you have a multi-device approach for this.
We do. So through our analytics, which are really robust, we have been able to understand that most of our users actually are still on desktop. However, we have a lot of customers that are in retail, manufacturing, right, transportation, and those users are often on the go. Also, if we look at a younger generation, having something on the mobile is so handy, and it's really important to their experience. So most of our users are working behind their desktop, especially as we're all working from home. But having notifications come up on the mobile app is so handy.
I'm actually happy you mentioned a bit of like other types of industries. It's an enterprise solution mostly. And what are the use cases? What are the, let's say, what's the common user of Happeo?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I think it really starts off as, a business tool that is spread across all departments, all brands, all regions within an organization. And it's usually that they're looking for a place to hold, policies. Where do I get my medical information? How do I see my pay slips? How do I find this? How do I find that? What resources do I have? Who do I work with? If you work in an organization of 20,000 people and you're brand new to the company, how do you know who's who, especially if you're working across the globe, and especially as we're not traveling right now, right? So, it's difficult to meet each other and get to know your company and where to go for information and how to find things and who to go to. And so really this is established as like, that's the baseline of it. But what's interesting is then you find out there's more use cases by different teams or different departments. So, marketing will use it as like brand repository or, having all that information there, right? Here's where you find our logos and here's where you get this and here's where you find that. And you can use these for these things and not for that. Legal really likes it because, then people don't have to ask them, hey, where's the most up-to-date order, right? Or where do I find our NDA? All of that information is all in one place. And with our integrations as well, they can integrate with those tools that they're already using, bring them into the same place. So it really is a unified space for everyone across the board. And that's what really, I think, drives home the value of Happeo.
We've mentioned an impressive growth, to be honest, 280% year on year. Can you tell us a bit about your user base and what are your growth plans for the futures as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we've grown fairly quickly. As you mentioned, we were established in 2017 and, we started in Europe. We're a Europe-based company. Our headquarters are still in Finland. Most of our development team sits there. We've got a main business office in Amsterdam and then employees all over the world. And I think because we were based in Europe, the majority of our customers are still there. It's a pretty much almost break even between North America and Europe right now. But our plans are really focusing on North America. And with our recent investment that we got just a couple months ago, right at the beginning of COVID, with that, I think one of the main priorities is our expansion in sales and marketing and product, and really focusing on North America as that has become one of our primary markets.
It's a rising need indeed. You're a remote team yourself. You said like many continents, many countries. Can you maybe share us a bit about the challenges you may have encountered and maybe some best practices that your team has learned through this time?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, the challenges that we're seeing across the board with all customers that we speak with is about how do we connect employees when, times are a little bit uncertain. So it's one thing, I think, to be remote and be working from home, which some people have been doing for years. But I think it takes it to another step of how do we be efficient and how do we be productive in our day-to-day, and how do we get employees to work a full day, although there may be distractions at home and they want to run errands and all that stuff. And then how do we get them to be engaged and actually a part of the brand and a part of the company, and feel like they matter within the organization. Of course they do, right? They're doing a job and they provide a lot of value, but it's important that employees feel that way, and then that is validated for them. So I think some of the things that we've done with Happeo is really improved that engagement, making sure that employees are heard, that they're recognized, that they're a part of the discussion. That's one of the main things is usually when you see intranet platforms, it's all top down, right? It's coming from the executives, they're delivering information. And I hate to say this, but sometimes the end users ignore that message. But allowing the end user to really feel like they're adding to the conversation, they're a part of the conversation and their voice is heard, and really facilitating that in a platform like Happeo allows them to be happier at work. And that's why our name, sometimes people ask us, what does that mean? Is that a Finnish word? No, it's a word that we made up, and it's the first three letters of happy people. And that's ultimately our goal, is so people are happier at work.
Thank you, Meredith, for being with us and sharing all this information. There you go, guys. The next generation of work is going to be all about communication, collaboration, and shared information. Happeo integrates all that into the ultimate intranet platform for companies. Thank you all for joining us, and tune in RemoteCon for more information on remote work tools. Goodbye.